Good afternoon or good evening from Yami B TV, depending on when this video reaches you. Now we're going to carry on with a series of Uncle Yami's greatest warlords of all time during that life. Now this one is greatest warlord plus stroke all-rounder, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Many requests all around the country for me to bring this out in the open. I've been stalling it off for months and months and months, and yes, we finally got round to Porky, Carl Dennis, right? So, yep, I put him in that bracket. And I first met him in the 90s. I knew his uncles, the Randy brothers, and Harry Smith, and Terry Ellis used to be friends with all them as well. In that life when I was a kid, they grew me from young. When I went to Aylesbury, they looked after me during that time there. Rest in peace as well down there to the family for a couple I'm hearing in later life as well. I missed that, sadly. I was away. But yep, they were his uncles. So Uncle Yami met Porky, already knew who his family was in the early 90s when he'd come to Swellside. He's done a couple of big sentences, and then he turns up later on in the Cattays. I saw him in Belmarsh, the whole family. Kevin Dennis' brother, one of the greatest footballers that you ever saw as well, got a life sentence as well for this thing as well. He used to be on Arsenal's books. Kevin, proper stuff, Kevin as well. So watch this now, right? So we're in Belmarsh, gets lifed off, leaves me. I get 13, I turn up. I'm with him in the Cattays in 2 or 3 places, right? I'm next door neighbour as well for 2 or 3 years. Now, he's a very difficult man to upset. He's more lovable kind of thing. And you know, when you get a life sentence and you haven't committed the crime, he was holding it really well, being disappointed by a couple of people out there. You soon see who leaves you when you get a life sentence, when they think you're out the game, right? So he was holding it well, but he's a man I see wake up in the morning with sleep in his eyes and go and bench 4 plate down the gym. He had that brute force strength. He used to want to wrestle with everyone playfully on the landings, but you're not really going to win there. He had a big FUD as well. Like I said, very difficult to get angry. And on such occasions, 2 or 3 times during that life in the Cattays, he got angry over a couple of things. I said to him, what, do you want me to come with you? Yeah. As I'm going through, no, not come in, Yami, wait outside. And then the job was done really, really quickly. One of them was a man from South London, the well-known one. He had to grip him up and slap and fold him up and that kind of stuff. I don't want to go into it too much. And one of those in the recess, in the gym recess as well, again, over very, very quickly during that life. But yep, Carl Dennis as well. So imagine you get the life sentence, you're a few years into it, and they get found cheating. Allegedly, the police, right? So I'm reading all the things and everything. They go to the appeal court, Old Bailey, and they all get not guilty because of the fiddling behind the scenes, right? Now, they let everyone go. Everyone was crying in cells. Oh, they could, because 1 minute you're doing a life sentence, and the next minute you're told you've won, you know, because it's hard when you're doing a life sentence and you stop believing that you might have a chance, you know. And then justice is served sometimes, not all the time, as we well know. But I imagine this: everybody else left and went, but poor old Porky Carl D, he had to go back to jail because he was doing an 8 or 9 for you know, I read it with my own eyes that he was doing a 9 before he got the life, I think, and where he let off a gun on the roads. I think the police were there or whatever, and you know, and everyone took cover and he got away and then got caught another time. So he basically got 8, 9 years for letting off a firearm in a public place, that kind of stuff, right? So I put him in that league outside as well as inside. Like I said to you, outside, I've been with him, and one of the funniest ones I've ever seen is inside and outside. I have never in all my life seen when they used to say, yeah, the girl them sugar tree, because he fits the profile with the looks and everything, with the build, with the charisma, presence, aura, the whole bloody lot. Good at all sports as well. There was nothing he wasn't good at, even rapping, singing, whatever way you want to put it. Even the ladies in there, the ladies out there, seen with my own eyes, that all he has to do, he doesn't even talk. Imagine that. What a lucky guy, eh? You just look at a girl and they will come pouring in and ask you for your phone number. How about that? Inside and outside. You heard it first on Uncle Yami show, right? But yeah, joke aside, I put him in my top 10 of all time greatest. I have to, because to be an all-rounder, because you get a lot of characters who are dark, but he's not that kind of man, if you get what I mean. He would give you anything, man. He's so sweet as well, if you get what I mean. So you know, a lot of characters I talk about, they really are dark warlords. The reason why I say to you that Carl Dennis, as well as being the greatest warlord inside and outside, Uncle Yami tells you today that for all other things as well, for everything that I've just explained on this video, I bought Carl Dennis as one of the greatest of all times and one of the greatest men that I ever met in that life. And gladly now he's doing great work in the communities and things like that now. And Uncle Yammy's pleased to hear these things. Long to see him though. But yeah, you asked me, I always deliver. And Carl Porky Dennis, you were damn right, is in my top 10 of all time. That's the way I saw it, and that's the way it is. Most of the country will be able to tell you that. Sending loads of love. I'll be up later on as well, probably, hopefully.